What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today, I'm going to be asking your most commonly asked questions. Now, believe it or not, I get asked a lot of questions, whether it's on YouTube or LinkedIn or Twitter or email or Instagram or Discord. There's a lot of places where I get messages every single day. And over these past 5 years, I've been asked a lot of similar questions. And so in this video, I'm going to be answering a lot of questions that I see all the time. With that being said, let's jump right into it with number one. And this question says, are data analysts still going to be in demand with AI? My short answer to this is yes. Data analysts are still going to be in demand for the foreseeable future. I don't think that's going away anytime soon. AI right now is really just in a place where it's helping you get your work done faster. And so it's helping you write queries quicker. It's helping you identify what your data means or what it is a little bit faster. But a lot of the heavy lifting is still with humans. It's still with us to get that work done. In fact, I think AI is going to create a lot of data jobs. A lot of companies that have never used any of their data before are going to have to start using it to keep up with their competition. That's going to lead to a lot of smaller and mid-sized companies creating data teams and needing data analysts in order to keep up with their competition. The second question that I get asked all the time is, why can't I get a job as a data analyst? Now, for this question, I want to take it back several levels because it could be a lot of different things. The first thing that you need to really identify is, do you have a good resume? Is your resume top notch? Do you have skills on there? Do you have projects on there? Do you have any previous experience that you may have had as a data analyst, which is, for this question, most likely not. But do you have what you need in order for when somebody sees that resume, they're like, hey, this person will be worth bringing in for an interview. So if that is not the case, that means that you don't have a good resume or you don't have good experience. I have an entire video on how to make a great resume, so I'd go and check that out. But the next step of this is, yes, you're getting interviews, but nobody's hiring you. And that also happens because there are some people with great resumes, but when they get into interviews, they just really flop and they don't really connect with the interviewer. They don't answer the questions really well, and then they don't get offered the job. So that could also be a reason why you're not getting a job as a data analyst. The third thing is, it's just a really tough market out there right now. 2024, which is when I'm recording this, the very end of 2024. If I'm releasing this in 2025, it'll still be applicable. But the job market is terrible right now. And that has nothing to do with AI or you. That just has to do with the global economy, especially here in the United States. I know that the job market is not doing well because of a lot of different things like interest rates, consumer spending, confidence in the markets, global trade, and a lot of different factors. And so it may not be you. There just are a lot of companies that are letting people go or slowing down hiring because of these global factors. Number three is, do I need to learn Python to become a data analyst? Short answer is no. You definitely don't need Python to become a data analyst. In fact, my very first job working as a data collection specialist and analyst, which isn't really a data analyst job, is kind of adjacent. I only use Excel. I didn't use anything else. My second job as a data analyst, I just use SQL, Excel, and Tableau. My third job, I use SQL, Excel, Power BI, and Azure, and within Azure, a bunch of different tools. But I never had to use Python even in that job. I did, however, find some things that I could automate with Python in that job and decided to start testing some things out. And I ended up being able to automate several things in that job, and that really impressed my boss, which helped me get promotions. But I didn't do a ton of actual analysis using Python. So it really depends on the company, but I would say for most companies, Python is not a requirement to become a data analyst. The fourth question is, do I need a master's degree to become a data analyst? My answer for most people is no, you don't need a master's degree, but for some, or even in the next several years, 5, 10 years, you may need a master's degree. Back 5, 10, 15 years ago, it was a lot easier to get a job. There were more jobs available, big tech was really coming up, and there's this huge boom in the data world. If you really like data and you knew SQL and Excel, you could get a job as a data analyst, and they would really help boost you in your career. But those times are long gone. In 2025 and going onward, you're going to have to really prove that you know what you're doing. And companies aren't going to really hire people who have just the basics anymore. They're going to want people who are more advanced. They know more skills, more tools, have better experience, and educational requirements might even increase. It's possible. I myself do not have a master's degree. I don't plan on going and getting it because I have experience. But if you don't have experience going forward, master's degree may be even more desirable in this area. All that being said, no, you definitely don't need a master's degree to become a data analyst. You don't even need a bachelor's necessarily, although some jobs do require that. But a master's is something that maybe in the future, they may be more relevant or more useful to help getting a job, but I personally don't think so. The fifth question is, should I become a data analyst or a data engineer? I get this question all the time because there is a lot of crossover and there's a lot of things that they do that are similar. You work with similar tools, you work in similar companies, you may even work on the same team. You just serve different functions. A data engineer is usually working with procuring the data. They're creating the ETL processes to ingest data, getting into databases. They're setting up those database schemas. They're getting everything basically set up for you so that you can then go and analyze the data, you can clean the data, and you can work with the data. A data analyst at most companies is typically going to work with the data that the data engineers got for them. And so the data analyst is going to take the data that's sitting in a database, they're going to perform some analysis, whether it's requested by the customer or the client or the stakeholder. So they'll take that data, they'll analyze it. They may even need to clean that data and get it ready to be analyzed. It depends on kind of how that process works within that company. And then they may even create dashboards and visualizations, and they'll work with the customer or the client to really understand their data better. This usually involves using tools like SQL, Excel, Tableau, Power BI, or various tools that a company might use, but you're working with typically structured data in some type of database. A data engineer is typically going to work with the data at the raw source. So they're connecting to a data source, they're pulling that data in, and they're creating those systems, which is called ETL. So that's extracting the data, they're transforming the data, and they're loading the data. They're not just building these data pipelines, they're also maintaining a lot of data pipelines. And so there's data from all of these different sources that they need to pull in, they need to standardize them, create schemas for them, put them in a database for the data analyst to use. It is typically a more technically skilled position. And in general, it is harder to get a data engineer position because of that, because it is a little bit more technical and you traditionally need a little bit of experience or some type of a degree in computer science to get one of those roles. It really depends on you and what you prefer. For most people, I think data analytics is a really good starting point because if you love data analytics, you can stay with that your whole career. Or if you really love data analytics, you'll get involved with data science and data engineering and all these different, areas. And then you can say, oh, I want to branch into data engineering, and you can kind of transfer to that side, already having some experience as a data analyst. It doesn't typically go the other way. Because data engineering is more technical, most people stay within data engineering and don't go into data analytics after that, although I have worked with people personally who have done that. The sixth question is, do data analysts work alone? And this is something that I really didn't understand when I first got into data analytics. I thought personally that I would just get to sit at my computer, I get to work by myself, and I love the thought of that because I'm very much an introvert. I just wanted to sit at my computer all day, do my data analysis and databases and whatnot, and that just sounded like the life. I'd get paid more money than I was making. I'd just get to be by myself. I loved it. The reality of that turned out to not be accurate at all in the fact that data analysts work with a lot of people. You need access to data. You need access to information. You need access to understand, and you need other people's, business knowledge, and you need their domain knowledge from that company to get your work done. And so let's say, for example, you're working on some analysis, you come across some data that you don't fully understand. Well, it may not be on Google. You can't just Google this by yourself. So you may go to your coworker and ask them, hey, have you ever seen data like this? They're like, no, I haven't. So maybe you have to go back to the client. Then the client has to reach out to, whoever they're working with or wherever that data is being collected, and they have to understand it. Then you may have to jump on a call and you have to, they're going to explain it to you. It's a whole thing. It is a process. And that's just one small example. I found that I was always working with someone every single day. It wasn't a job where I just got to sit at my desk. Although there were days where I sat at it more than most, but I was always having meetings with, stakeholders or my boss or a company to work with their data to help them understand what we're doing. Or if we were collecting their data, they would explain it. They would, show us what fields they were working with. It really is not a job where you're working by yourself. That was something that I very kind of naively thought when I first got into it, but I can confidently tell you this is not a job where you work by yourself. The very last question that I get asked all the time is, do I need certifications in order to become a data analyst? And do I need to build projects? Now that's two separate questions, but they're typically kind of bundled together. The first one is certifications. I don't think for data analytics that there are any really super strong ones you have to have. There are ones that are nice to have. For example, AWS and Azure both have good kind of certifications, as well as Tableau. Those are the only three certifications that I think are even worth considering. All the other ones that are out there are just kind of nice to have, but they're not going to make a big difference in your job search. And so I can't really recommend anything besides those 3 companies in order to get any type of certification. And there's multiple ones that could be related to data analytics within all those companies. Now, in terms of projects, I think everybody should be building projects. Whether you are trying to become a data analyst or you've been a data analyst for 10 years, you should be building projects or have some projects in the back of your mind. The reason I say that is because when you get into an interview, whether you have experience or not, they are going to ask you your experience with SQL or Excel or Python or whatever they are interested in learning. And projects give you a very good answer for any of these questions. If you've never built a project before and they ask you about SQL, you're going to say, well, I know a little bit about joins. I know how to aggregate using sum and this. And that's it. And I took a course, a very simple course. That's all you can really talk to because you don't have any experience. A much better answer to this is to say, oh, I've definitely used SQL before. In fact, I built this project and here's what I did. I performed some data cleaning where I standardized these columns. I performed aggregations. I used window functions. I joined these tables together. And then here's what I got out of it. That answer sounds 100 times better and is going to impress your potential employer a lot more. And so for people who are just starting out, projects are even something that you can put on your resume. Now, once you get some experience, maybe 2 or 3 years, you're probably not going to have projects on your resume anymore because you can just talk about them in interviews or you have real world experience that's much more valuable. But for beginners, projects on your resume are a must. I hope that me answering these questions was helpful for you. I know that I get asked these all the time, so I'm hoping that if you were watching this, one of these questions was something that you were curious about or interested in. And so thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe below. I'll see you in the next one.